Okay, so it's live now, Himanshu. First of all, welcome to the for taking guest session here. I think the session can be very helpful to the students who are listening it right now.
Yeah,
So with that, we will start with the introduction. Hi everyone, I am Atul, I'm co-founder and CEO of Cuvette Tech. Himanshu,
sure. Hey all, thanks for joining. And we are looking at the chat, so if you'd like to interact and say hi, feel free to drop comments and all. My name is Himanshu Mishra. I'm currently in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm a software engineer at Spotify, but recently I'm going to change roles into a developer advocacy role, and we can talk about that. But have been an engineer for some time. I graduated from KGP, just like Atul and Sudhanshu from the team. And yeah, nice to be talking to you all.
okay. So a very common questions from every student, when you entered into IIT Kharagpur, how did you started into software development and all those things? Because you come after JE preparation and all those things. You were actually preparing for maths, physics, and chemistry, and somehow you have
Yeah,
very high expectations. So
yeah.
how was your feelings and how you started doing it?
Yeah, it wasn't like a brilliant start after J. I feel like gave the exam. I wasn't thinking about what will happen when I go into college into KGP, and then it happened. So I'm in college now, and I have not planned for it. So it took about a year actually to figure out that programming and computers are something that I want to do professionally. But good thing for me was that I have a brother who is 3 years older than me, so I'm basically following his footsteps, and that's how I like to say. He's already also done Gsoc. He's also a software engineer.
Okay,
So I'm just doing everything he's doing. Also an open source contributor and maintainer.
got it.
So my father is also a software engineer from the 90s. So I had computers at home, so that helped. But overall, I think it was talking to people. I think mostly my brother as a mentor, but I also had seniors in college to help me out. Without them, I would not have been able to figure out just by watching tutorials or um, just seeking help from internet, because there were times where I was just frustrated and the problem was unique to me. My touchpad was not working for the first 6 months on a Linux laptop, and how do you like what do you do with it, like drivers and such. So you need people around you to actually
Correct,
sit with and do stuff with. So
correct,
that
correct.
actually helped me. Yeah.
So any event you remember from your first year, means which was kind of funny or means some memories which you would like to share?
Yeah, sure. Like regarding what? Regarding starting with programming, or regarding
Can be anything,
um yeah, something that I remember was I was sleeping. It was 10 a.m. In college, and in my dream I listened someone shouting, Himanshu, Himanshu, class test ho raha hai. And I'm like, what? So wrong. So someone came and knocked at my door. I was like, yeah, class test ho gaya ho raha hai. So that's what I remember my first year was. Not going to classes, skipping on tests. I remember there was a chemistry lab test in my first year, 8 a.m., but I was awake the whole night. I was up the whole night and I was not able. I felt like so jata hu. So I wasn't great at attending classes, but I had a reason. I felt like um, maybe I was nuanced or biased, but I felt like what I want to do, in life, I don't think the college academia is going to help me a lot in that. Maybe it was a decision I made super early, and it's not relevant for every stream. But I felt like for software engineering, I should focus more on just actually doing stuff which happens in the real world. That's why I think I like open source a lot, because I feel like that's a tunnel. That's a way to actually see what's going on in the world, and not being confined in the notebooks and in the curriculum set by bunch of professors, which who might not be aware of what happened in the recent 5 years. um, yeah, that's what I remember. It was a long answer, sorry. But this is what I remember.
So actually, I also remember the same kind of thing when I was actually starting this startup, and it came to my mind after third year that whatever
Hmm.
has been happening in the college, means I don't want to do that in my life, and that's how means it went that I started selecting classes which I want to go, which I don't want to go, and then working spending more time on the actual thing which I want to be in my life. So that's why I think when realizing that thing is very important. Either you realize in your first year, either you realize it in your
Yeah,
second year. But the sooner you realize, the more time you have to actually work on the
yeah.
things which you want to do, right?
The way I like to put it is you have to wake up. Either you wake up in your third year or sometime, but you need to have that feeling of now I'm awake. Now I can make my decisions on my own. You're
Mm,
not looking for seniors to actually like blind
correct,
you and actually like say that just close your eyes and walk this path and you'll reach heaven.
correct, correct.
So you are choosing your own steps.
Correct. Actually, means these things are not many students are aware of it. What happens is that people generally follow the general trend, and they either talk to their seniors or they just follow the herd. Right? Means they have to prepare for competitive coding, or maybe they are preparing for some companies where interview questions, or they are going for means uh, those kinds of things that you have to crack an interview in the final years and then get into the placements, right? But there is something else apart from placement, which gives you a very very bigger platform and bigger opportunity. So we also actually keep on saying to the students that, so that's how we started Cuvette Tech, and we were actually giving platform to the students to explore various startups and companies and work with them and know what actually you want to do in your life. Because there has been many of my friend who has been into the company after getting job, after 6 months they say that this is not made for me, what they asked in the interview, but the things are very very different, right?
Yeah.
So that those things happen, right?
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Yeah, I do feel like that's a problem with our current situation in academia, that we try to maximize our opportunity of getting a job. And what does that mean is, you're at the end of your fourth year or fifth year, your whole college life, and you're looking at, the companies that have come, and then you start from there. So you start from like, what are the companies in my
Correct.
campus placement and what are the roles they're hiring for? And then you pick like, okay, maybe if I prepare for, a civil engineer job, the chances are not that high. And if I prepare for a data engineer, the chances are super high. Um, that's super weird to do in an age of 20 or 22, when you're graduating, because you're so young and so fresh, and you should be learning rather than trying to
Yeah.
trying to fit somewhere or land somewhere just like very rapidly and without too much thinking, and stop thinking after getting a job. So
Mm.
yeah, I feel like the scene of campus placements in KGP is not that great, or
Yeah.
any college to be
Yeah.
precise.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in even in internships or even
Yeah.
in CDC final year, because I feel like this is not the real picture. The real picture is different out there. There's like so many companies who are not coming to your campus placements, and it's not about just your first job. It's about actually you have a
Uh,
career of 20, 40 years,
yeah.
hopefully, and first job shouldn't matter that much. So yeah, take it easy, take your time to find out what you like. You're still very young. 20 is super young. It's in India, it's a trend to get a job as early as possible,
Yeah.
but I think in Western societies that's not a pressure that I've seen. Is to find what you like to do in 25. We feel bad when we say that final year mein aa gaye aur pata nahi kya kar rahe hain. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, that's all right.
I think it was the same for me, means I even didn't sit for the internship and the placements because I was actually exploring, what I want to do in the life. And then somehow, means startup took off, and then we started reaching out to more colleges. And
Right.
that's how, means it expanded. So okay, I think we have a one question from Prithvi. I feel software companies don't give much preference to non-circuital guys on for on-campus placements. What's your take on it?
Software companies don't give much preference to non-circuital guys. Oh, I don't really understand. If I
Non-circuital is actually used for like CS, electrical and electronics are used as circuital,
Oh,
and apart from these, it's called non-circuital.
yeah, you probably don't want to join those companies who think that you have to study CS and electrical to
Correct.
actually do your job. You can probably understand that they are not aware of what's happening right now in the current tech industry. That was my philosophy. If you're not selecting me based on what my CGPA is, depending on whether or not I can make a circuit, even if I'm not going to do that at all. I don't want to work with you. So it's like a very mutual agreement that you do with your employer. You're giving so much from your life in exchange of some cash, which you might spend on food and luxury, and you feel like 2 years just for watching TV and stuff like that. So yeah, make valuable choices. People whom you want to work with, companies, and policies they have. But to be serious, I think campus placements are, think beyond campus placements. Try to reach out to company directly. Now you have LinkedIn and all these platforms where talk to Atul, talk to see how they guys are doing, and if they need some help. There's like a lot of people out there who are looking for talent. So if you have talent, don't need to worry. Think beyond campus placement. Think beyond the big names, big companies and brands and such.
Also Himanshu, there is a thing that they have to get a package kind of thing in India, right? The one who gets the biggest package is having good reputation in the society. To that thing is actually killing the whole purpose of actually exploring things, right? So what would you like to say on that, running behind packages and all those things?
No, no, no. I totally get that. And I think that's something which comes into the bigger mission that I have, is that Indian people are so talented. Indian students, especially, I come from KGP. I've seen hundreds of talented folks who could be like earning so much than their current salary. So I think it's bad on our market. It's bad on our economy to that it happens. You get 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 8 lakhs, 10 lakhs. That's super average. To be honest, if you're IT, or even if you're like in the software industry, I think it's very below average. So you should definitely like not go join companies who are trying to offer that much money, because they're actually trying to lower down this whole industry of talented people. They won't care about you. They treat you as just just average person. So you should definitely go join companies who are building economy, who are maybe not offering much salary, but maybe some shares for you. And you see that this might help us bring money from outside, get funding, and maybe we'll have then more salary to spare. So initially it's hard. As a new grad, you don't have a lot of leverage that you can use for your benefit. But then I think it gets easier in terms of like salary negotiations. I think you'll find that it gets easier. So don't worry about your first job. Don't think that it matters so much.
Yeah.
Your next company, if they ask for your salary, don't tell them, don't join them. I think, yeah, just take your stance on this. um, but I do want to say that moving out of India, even for a few years, is, if you're looking for cash, if you're looking for salary, it really helps. So do look for jobs in Europe and jobs in US. I think US is difficult for us Indians because we have visa issues and such, but Europe is pretty flexible. Japan is nice. So yeah, look out if you're looking for salary early on. Do
Yeah,
look for
yeah.
moving out.
Yep, yep. But one thing what I've seen is the problem is that when you are just starting, right? So people have to expect that if I'm starting, if I've just started learning skills, then I should work at somewhat low salary range and first, or maybe low stipend kind of thing. So generally what I have seen in the internship sector, people expect a very high stipend even they have just started doing, even they are just looking for their first internship. So what we say is that when you are just in the learning phase, you can actually manage with your these stipends and all those things. But first get experience and first learn those things, and then once you have the right experience, people will be coming behind you. You don't have to
Yeah.
go behind the companies, right?
No, no, I totally agree with that. I think the mentors I got when I was an intern and in my first job, I think now when I reflect, I think that's valuable and it should be counted as a in the package. So people
Mhm.
I've worked with and in the culture that the company provides me, the health, the mental health, work life balance that the company
Yeah.
provides me, I think everything should count, especially in young age. I think you should look for,
Mhm.
will this job make me grow in like
Yep.
2 years? So even if you're earning like 30 lakhs package and you're not growing, you're in a rut kind of environment where no one cares about your development. I
Correct,
think
correct.
you're actually losing your own worth, and maybe in 2 years people have moved on, people have developed, but you're still the same. So yeah, you should count other things.
Yep. Yep. Anyways, next go to next phase of your life. How did you started working on this open source, and then you went to GSOC, right? You did GSOC twice,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And
yeah. That's interesting, and I think it's super interesting part of my life, GSOC. So as I said, in my first year, I was quite hopeless about things that I want to do in life, and my brother, my little brother, was in his third year at that time, and he did GSOC as a student. And GSOC at that time had a stipend of $6,000 in 3 months. That was like lot of money. It was so attractive. It had Google in its name. It was all open source, and you can pick things to work on, and it was on GitHub. So it was very attractive to me, at least. So I think it was around December in my first year. The first semester ends. That's when I was coming back from vacations, back from home, and my brother said, मिलके ऐसा जीसॉक प्रेप करते हैं साथ में. I was like, मेरा तो नहीं हो रहा, क्या बोल रहे? So I was, yeah, super hopeless about my own skills and all. But I was also very um, not, so I don't know, I'm not shy per se, so I like to ask people things, and I'm not afraid of talking to seniors and anyone basically. So I did reach out to a bunch of communities online. My brother helped me at times. He would sit by me and actually help me talk to this online communities, open source organizations, projects basically, and their maintainers. So I did that. Kept on fighting. Actually, it was a fight. You had to. There were other students trying to apply for the project you're trying to apply, and you have like fifth years coming from other IITs, and and you're just a first year who have basically no experience, and you automatically reject yourself. That's what you do at that time. But my brother said, the other guy doesn't know that, and that person is also thinking the same way, that you might get selected. So
correct.
don't give up. Just keep on working, keep on creating pull requests, submitting code basically, and engaging in the project. And no one looks at whether you're a first year or a final year or a PhD student, at least in like most projects. So that's what happened. Th- lu- Luckily I got selected as a student in first year, and that changed everything.
Mhm.
um, I started getting a lot of attention from seniors, because there's this kid who did GSOC, so let's talk to this person. So yeah, I was actually like reaching out to a bunch of seniors at that time, and they had heard my name, so it was easy to talk to them. It happened. So yeah, first year GSOC summer, got to learn a lot of Python, Git, the whole workflow. Um, Second, yeah, and then second day it was very easy to do that, and then Google changed that you can only do it 2 times, and it's like, oh, I wanted to get $6,000 for 5 years, but it's not happening. uh, and then I was a mentor in my third year.
Mm,
So Gsoc is awesome if you're, especially if you're in first year, and if you're looking for internships, definitely apply. I think it's January, so the next Gsoc should be around. Go for it.
yeah. So what I've seen is that, means in your college, when you come out of that bubble, right, means start interacting with people in industry and start working with them, then you will realize that what skills you have to focus more on, rather than following and just working with your seniors on some college projects. It doesn't make sense because you have like 4 or 5 years in the college, and then after that you are going into the industry, right? And that college
Hmm.
period is like very very golden period.
Hmm.
You have a lot of free time, and then you can explore multiple things.
Yeah.
So, yep, I think the yeah, yeah, go ahead, Himanshu.
No, no, no. I think I was just thinking about doing a lot of things, and just acquiring skills. So recently, I changed my role from software engineering to developer advocacy, developer
Mm,
relations, and this is like you do less code and you actually do no code, and you actually try to make sure your software that you've created is used by other developers well, and they face no issues, and you kind of teach them, and you're trying to bring feedback back to product manager and whoever. So I think, like, now I'm in a phase of life where I'm thinking, is software engineering really what I want to do, right? And I was afraid to do this transition, but people, my mentors in Spotify actually like helped me out, that
mm,
yeah, just if you like that, do it. What do you think about
mm,
the title and such?
mm,
So when I'm now in like conversations with stakeholders from Spotify, and all the project I'm working on backstage, and backstage adopters, they're asking questions which is like out of syllabus, right? So they're asking me, can we deploy this on Kubernetes on AWS? I'm like, yeah, I've not used that a lot. Can we do it on serverless, and can we do it using this and that, the whole tech industry? Why is it on Node? Why can't you write in
mm,
Golang? And you're like, you can't ask me these questions because I'm not prepared. So throughout my life, I've been experimenting with things.
yeah.
I created, I remember there was a December somewhere, like second year, third year, where every other day I was creating something new. So tonight it's about a Chrome extension. I've never
Mm,
created a Chrome extension before, so let's see how that happens. Next day it's about a CLI command line. Next day it's about an Android app. Next day it's like, yeah, I want to create a React Native app, something cool. So I enjoyed experimenting with things, that are happening in tech, and I think it's helping me a lot right now.
mm,
Just something I was thinking about, just gathering
yeah.
skills. You don't do it yourself. I think it will help you sometime in the future.
And how did that Twitter intern happen? Means how did you apply it, and
Oh
means what
man,
happened? And
Twitter internship was interesting. So yeah, remember that I like I did GSOC, and I got kind of famous in campus, that this guy who's like, no one does GSOC in first year. That was the trend back then, but I kind of took it up on me to change that. And when I was in my second year, third year, fourth year, there were at least one first year doing GSOC, and I know all of them like very closely. So I created this society in campus, Kharagpur Open Source Society, and it was just a bunch of us trying to spread open source and trying to teach people and help out, because I was very thankful that I had a brother to help me out, but not everyone has a brother, or not everyone has a father, or like someone who is in tech and actually helping you out. So seniors that use us at your disposal. So that's what I did. And then I remember it was my third year. We were doing, it was my fourth year, sorry. We were doing this open source summit during December. And we had this Shitis, our technical festival, annual tech fest. And we were doing this Kharagpur Open Source Summit, which was like 1,000 people coming for 2 days tutorials, open source talks. We had like external guests. It was awesome. It was a conference in campus, and I don't know if like open source conference happens like in campus. It's so rare outside even. I remember like it was day one, end of the night, and we don't sleep during fest. I got an email from the recruiter saying, Twitter's open source program office is interested in talking to you. And I was so busy with that Kharagpur open source thing. I didn't even reply for like one day. And the was like, "Did you see my email? We want to talk to you." It was January 20 something. Um, the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is that uh, I did things which people would tell me that it doesn't help in career, because that time open source was not famous in my peer group. Everyone was doing C++ and competitive programming. um, but I like to do it, and that's why I thought I should pursue it. And you shouldn't think about, will this exactly help me in getting, should I do things which actually help you land a job, or should I also try to create new kinds of streams and new kinds of roles and such. So I always had that kind of mindset in me. um, so the hiring manager is a very good mentor of mine. He looked at my GitHub profile, and that's when he got impressed. That's as simple. Like, there were 100 people. um, so there was like 60,000 people applied for Twitter internships, and 100 people with open source in their resume, and the hiring manager selected like 2 people. So yeah, GitHub profiles help. These
A
resumes
lot.
helps. I think you have like lots of good advice, how to build that profile and such. So yeah, I don't want to go deep in that.
Correct. Correct. Actually, there are people, I mean, still students are not that much active on GitHub. And so on our platform, what we have did is that you have to compulsorily add your GitHub when you mention your work experience, right?
Nice.
So, so at least you get to know that what is Git, right? And how does work happen in,
Yeah.
industry and all those things. It's very,
Especially
very
if you're in
important.
a yeah especially if in a software role, like at Spotify, I do interviews for engineering roles almost every week. And if you don't mention GitHub, like, I question, have you never tried it? Have you never Do you know the whole Git workflow? So if you have a Git profile, it helps me know more about you. if you have if you don't even have LinkedIn, then I'll like judge you a lot as well. So do like do think about who are the interviewers. There are people like you. Does that profile, like, does knowing about your interview help you? Yeah, so
Correct.
give them as much as context as you can.
Mhm. Got it. Then coming to the job, your first job at Japan. So how does that happen? Means
Yeah. So I'm not a great like example and everything. I would like to dedicate luck a lot. So what happened is that so yeah, in my third year I did Twitter internship. Sorry, fourth year, because I'm a 5-year student, integrated masters. So in my fourth year I did Twitter internship, but it was in US, and my manager wanted to hire me, but it couldn't happen because of Indian people can't get US visa that easily.
yeah,
This is a whole mess. So yeah, if you're looking going for internship, try to find some company which have offices in like Europe and non-US, because US is not great for Indian folks. So yeah, I was sad that I didn't get a PPO and such. I have to prepare again for job, and what the hell? I applied like 100 plus places, and didn't like work out that well. So yeah, there's this company in Pune, Help Shift, where I finally like got a job, and I used to think of it as a backup job. कि ठीक है, 15 लाख दे रहे हैं, चला जाऊंगा अगर कुछ मिला नहीं तो. Still not happy. I feel like I need something more. So yeah, my friend Sahil Rishi, one of my batchmates who was working in Mercari Japan, he was like, क्या कर रहा है? एक दिन मैं ऐसे सो रहा था दोपहर में, he was like, क्या कर रहा है? मैं सो रहा हूँ. तो तेरा प्लेसमेंट हो क्या? बोला, नहीं, मैं बैठा ही नहीं सीढ़ी में. अरे क्या कर रहा है? तो he actually connected me with the CTO kind of person at Mercari in the US division, and we just talked. Then bunch of interviews with VPs and such, and it was like an off-campus placement. Very happy to go there. I had lots of friends from campus placements joining Mercari. So yeah, that's how it happened. Now, what do you learn from this? Like, I have no lesson.
One thing actually, very interesting came out that you applied for 100 companies and you got rejected right from there.
Yeah, I used to like wake up with a bunch of rejection emails, and pretty used to that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to build
So
thick skin. Yeah,
what generally happens with the student is that they get irritated after like 10 or 15 rejections, right? What we generally tell students that please be patient, means these things happens, and these things are very common in college. You don't have to be ashamed of that. You're getting rejected in 20 23 companies, or maybe means 50 60 companies, right? uh,
yeah,
you just have to find the right company where you just want to start your career, and then you keep on working in the industry, so you have a long time in the industry, right? So
yeah,
it's not that Twitter is going anywhere.
yeah,
If you didn't get a job in Twitter right now, then you won't get into Twitter anytime else.
yeah.
uh, Anything? I think we have two more questions here. Karthik wants to ask that how to prepare for GSOC.
First, hello Divya. I know Divya from KGP. So yeah, he's also from COS. How to prepare for GSOC?
Yep.
So there's so this is such a common question that you might have imagined. So if you search for GSOC student guide, the mentors have actually written a lot of advices basically, and lots of things. So, better than me thinking of like two things or three things. I'll just share a link with Atul, or I don't know how can I put something in chat. um, but yeah, just search for GSOC student guides. You'll land on developers.google.com, and
I
um,
think you can post it here as well, means in the YouTube, if you want to do it like this chat.
oh yeah, I have the YouTube thing open,
So it
but I don't
is.
have chat open. I have like bunch of extensions blocking chats and such. So yeah, I've sent
I
you
think
Atul. I think we can link into the description. But yeah, in short, how to prepare for GSOC, start contributing, start engaging with like the organizations who participate in GSOC. So you can look at previous year, and organizations. There's like 200 of them. Start narrowing down on the things that you like. So you like this language, or like these two languages, or these frameworks. Start finding projects around that, but don't be afraid of picking something new. Don't feel like you don't know enough Python. Everyone knows enough Python to do GSOC. In my
yeah.
opinion, it takes like 7 days. So yeah, just start contributing. It's daunting, so have someone to talk to. Have a fellow person who's applying, or some senior who's done this. So do talk to them occasionally, because I wanted to give up like every other day, and my brother was like, no, 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 just keep on going. Thanks, Atul. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in short.
So the next question is from Unnat. Unnat wants to ask that could you tell us a bit about open source at Spotify and Backstage?
Sure. So Spotify is fairly like medium-sized company. There's about 3,000 engineers now, and Backstage. So when you have in your company 10 engineers, let's say, everyone knows everything. Everyone knows how to deploy a new website now, how to add a new feature, how to do anything. So but when you start scaling your organization, like 10 engineers, now you have 50 engineers. Now not everyone will know everyone else. There's like some strangers in your own organization. um, People are joining every month, if you're 50 engineer and still growing. But you can imagine if you're like 2,000 engineers, of course you won't know anything. Like when you join, and there's like tons of things for you to learn in the new company. So Backstage is our developer portal, as we call it. And it's been here for about 6 years now. So this is how engineer does anything. And it basically solves a lot of problem. Like if you want to create new stuff in your company, you don't have to ask 10 people. You can imagine, like if you're on a Spotify app, and if you want to create a new feature in the app, and you have like a backend, and have like a data pipeline, and have like so many things, you have to like jump through so many hoops to make sure it's scalable, security is taken care of, the language is taken care of, so many things. So all of this is Backstage takes care of it, and we open sourced it 2 days ago. Sorry, 2 days ago. What am I thinking? 2 years ago. And it's like a bit famous on GitHub. What else do you want to know about Backstage and Spotify? Just put it in chat. It's awesome. It's growing. It's like 600 contributors to Backstage. If you like to contribute, there's lots of good first issues. You'd find me on a bunch of them. I would also like to pair up with you if you're interested in contributing. It's all JavaScript. If you know JavaScript, you can easily contribute.
Okay. So there are a couple of questions. I will add people, who have like asked really good questions. So they will be added to this meet itself. And I think, just give me a second. Uh, Stream, yeah. So Divyanshu is there. And Divyanshu, can you give your intro first and then you can ask the question from the Himanshu?
Yeah. So hi, I'm Divyanshu. I am a fourth year student from IIT Indore. My question is that like mostly as a fresher, so, we don't have much skills. So as and when we join some new company, as an intern, or even like when we will be joining as a full time. So what happens is that the tech stack that is already present there, especially during the first 2 weeks and first 2 to 3 weeks, we feel really hard to align with the tech stack and even write small functions. So how do you like, go about it in a very positive manner to make the most out of it? Thank you.
Hey, Dipanshu. So you're in fourth year, right?
Yes, I am in fourth year right now.
Awesome, awesome. No, I get that question. I think onboarding is challenging. In Spotify, we'd like to say that it would take 1 year before you can actually like feel confident that you are fully onboarded. So setting an expectation of 2 weeks is very high, in my opinion, for any company, for a new joiner, especially a new grad, to start like making big contributions. So don't put a lot of pressure. But there are some like things that you can do. So things that helped me was actually find very detailed described small task to pick up with. So if I can add a small feature somewhere, I'll be able to like touch the whole software from end to end. How do you deploy it, how do you test it, and how do you get stuff from database, and like if you're talking about a software. So definitely like ask for a small task, and as many as you'd like, from your manager, from your mentor. That's going to help you a lot. As small as possible, like change true to false, but do it like that.
Yeah.
Your small task should be like really small. um Ask for a mentor, ask for a dedicated mentor. Like this is under, people don't mention this a lot, but in order for you to like grow, you need a senior engineer alongside. You can't like actually just Google everything and learn. So there are some specific things that your engineer will tell you, like their workflow. Like look at how they do things, in VS Code. How do they jump hoops from like function to function, and what are the other tools they use. So do set up some pair programming sessions with them. And if it's not the culture at your company, just ask your manager. I've heard that pair programming helps a lot in growth. Spotify does that a lot, like pair programmings, mob programmings, as we like to call it, like three or more people just coming together and working on something. So it really helps, in that learning that context. I think in this remote world, it's going to be even challenging for you to like onboard a new company. So do set up like all these things that I think has helped me a lot. So yeah. Anything else you want to say, Atul, or about joining a new
So this is a very common thing which we have seen with the fresher actually. When they join a company, they have some expectation that means they will actually do something really really great to impress their mentors and the company people, right? They want to build rocket in the very first month, but they have to get you know uh, awareness of how things work, and means aggressiveness is good, but the patience is really really important in the early days. Um, these are the things. Devanshu, anything else?
No, thank you. Thank you for the answer.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. So, there are some of the more questions which I will take from the YouTube chat, and then we will, I think, end up the session. So, Mansi wanted to know that, how should we make a good GitHub profile?
how should we make a good GitHub profile? Things I'm looking for when I'm looking at someone's GitHub profile. Activity, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's fine to like take breaks, and vacations are great, but have like some activity around. And activity doesn't always mean writing code. It means, creating issues. It's an open source community, so you can actually help a software not by code but suggesting ideas as well. So interacting with communities, I think, is what I'm looking for. Have some projects of your own. Just share things with people. I would like to see how you write your code when you're working on your own project, but also have some like also contribute to some public projects. So have some um, famous projects in your pinned list. I'm definitely looking for that you have the skill to actually go out into a new community and actually interact with them and get something done, because that's a skill that's going to be useful in a company if you join, because it's going to be a new community and you have to contribute to it. So why not start in college and start doing that by open source projects. What else I'm looking for? A profile picture, if you will. It's a joke, but I really hate when I'm talking to someone and I don't see them, because you're a human. So yeah, put up some face. Like, I don't care. Put up Shah Rukh Khan's image. I don't care, but not those. I'm just kidding at this point. I think, yeah, mostly like, so whatever you can like add or complement your resume with. As I said, can you interact with new communities? Can you like talk to them and work with them? And can you maintain projects? And can you write some nice code? That's what I'm looking for.
Great, I think so. We have Anurag. I will add him to the stream, and he has some questions. Hi, Anurag. You can give a brief introduction about yourself and then ask your question.
Hello, my name is
Hey,
Anurag, and I am in second year of my BTech.
Okay.
Hello.
hey Anurag, yeah,
Yeah,
we can hear you.
yeah, you can ask your question.
I have a question about your Gsoc journey.
So
I
उसमें कुछ
think
स्पेसिफिक है क्या, like journey में, as in like preparation, or actually like participating, or like
उसमें,
offering?
like preparation about the how you understand your code base or
Yeah, makes sense. Thanks. I kind of get the question. Like, you have this whole project. कुछ हिंदी
yeah.
चलेगा क्या, अनुराग?
हाँ हाँ हाँ
So हाँ, so उसमें like you have बड़ा सा project है, and तुमको इधर छोटा सा कुछ change करना है, but you're like, क्या है ये चीज, मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा कौन सा फाइल में जाके क्या करना है. So one trick that I used was actually use the software first, be a user first, and then you try to contribute, because they have written a lot of documentation in order to help you out. So हम लोग क्या करते हैं कि like जाते के साथ सोचते हैं कि मेहनत नहीं करना, ऐसा contribute कर सकते हैं, but actually like उसको try करो. Like अगर वो कोई scientific चीज है तो उसको use करके देखो कि अच्छा ये बना किस लिए है, राइट, इसमें क्या क्या फीचर्स हैं, एंड देन जो अगर इशू तुम पढ़ रहे हो अबाउट समथिंग, सम कंट्रीब्यूशन, तब थोड़ा समझ में आने लग जाएगा कि अच्छा ये किस बारे में चल रहा है, ये क्यों जरूरी है इस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए. फर्स्ट यूज इट एंड देन एक्चुअली लाइक रीड द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन की हाउ टू कंट्रीब्यूट टू द सॉफ्टवेयर. बहुत सारे लोग लिख के रखते हैं ये चीजें, कंट्रीब्यूटिंग गाइड्स. व्हाई नॉट लाइक स्टार्ट देयर. और थर्ड थिंग जो मैं बोलूंगा इसकी, लाइक जिस बंदे ने इशू क्रिएट किया है उसी से पूछो कि भाई को कैसे करना है. बहुत सारे टाइम
एक
तुम देखोगे कि लोग चाहते हैं कि अनुराग आए और कंट्रीब्यूट करे. सो वो नहीं चाहते कि वो खुद कर दें, राइट, बिकॉज उनको अनुराग से और बातें करनी है और काम करना है. तो वो लिख देंगे बट वो करेंगे नहीं. सो ट्राई टू फाइंड इश्यूज जहाँ पे लाइक ऐसे हेल्पफुल मेंटर्स हैं, और तुम्हारा पीआर रिव्यू कर दें वो. सो यही कहूंगा मैं कि लाइक जरूरी नहीं है कि तुम ऐसा बड़ा सा प्रोजेक्ट पिक करके लाइक उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट करो. छोटा सा प्रोजेक्ट पिक करो जहाँ पे मेंटर्स अच्छे हों, बिकॉज तुमको ग्रो करना है.
Got it. I think Anurag, it's fine. There's any other questions?
which organization you have on in Gsoc?
हाँ, तो
मतलब
there's like 200 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है लास्ट ईयर का. लुक एट लास्ट
नहीं
ईयर्स
आप
ऑर्ग्स.
नहीं आप किस में थे मतलब
अच्छा, ठीक है. मैं पाइथन सॉफ्टवेयर फाउंडेशन में था. सो उसमें फर्स्ट ईयर में मैं नेटवर्क एक्स नाम का एक प्रोजेक्ट में पार्ट लिया था, और सेकंड ईयर में एक एस्ट्रोनॉमी रिलेटेड प्रोजेक्ट था. ओपन एस्ट्रोनॉमी.
Oh,
बट पाइथन सॉफ्टवेयर
oh,
फाउंडेशन मस्त है. उसमें ऐसा 30 प्रोजेक्ट्स आते हैं पाइथन के. बहुत सारा ऐसा हेड काउंट रहता है इन कोड्स. तो ट्राई इट आउट अगर पाइथन इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है.
Yes. ठीक है.
okay.
Anurag, thank you for your question. So I'm removing you from the stream. So Himanshu, we have a couple of few questions. We will cover it very fast because we have already spent like 45 minutes doing chit chats. So Anirudh wants to ask that how much DSA or lead code should we do to get into these companies, and project matters or not?
Tricky question. It's very subjective, to be honest, Anirudh. I for one have not, I don't enjoy doing lead code. Have never enjoyed. I've been very honest about this. That it's not helpful at all. Maybe easy questions are helpful. So I have like a difference that I make between competitive programming and something that I like to say sports programming, or like something Olympics programming ka Olympics,
Hmm.
and then problem solving. So problem solving is important. कोई ऐसा प्रॉब्लम मिला तुमको, तुम उसको अच्छा इफेक्टिवली सॉल्व कर सको. एंड वो चीज ओपन सोर्स में भी होती है. सो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इज लाइक इंटरसेक्शन बिटवीन sports programming and competitive programming and open source. So I like lead code के easy questions क्योंकि वो easy होते हैं first of all. नहीं, they actually like help you out, like solve some problems जो ऐसा use आएगा. Maybe array में तुमको ऐसा 2 numbers find out करने होंगे. थोड़ा सा mathematical हो जाता है वो, but it's nice to actually see कि तुम्हारा ऐसा candidate कैसे सोचता है. So now I think like just practice problem solving a lot, but don't spend like hours and hours on just one problem. Many of my friends did that, जो ICPC में participate करते
Uh,
हैं, and that's awesome, that's great. वो लोग 2 दिन लगा के एक problem solve करते हैं, but तुमको ऐसा regular interviews में वो काम नहीं आएगा. um, Second thing that I would like to mention is कि like not every company is Google. So Google has different needs. Like there's like बहुत सारे लोग अप्लाई करते हैं गूगल में, तो वो क्या करें, वो तुम्हारे बारे में कितना जानेंगे, तो उनको ऐसा टेस्ट वेस्ट करके उनको फाइंड आउट करना है. बट तुम ऐसा छोटी कंपनीज में अप्लाई करोगे तो दे विल एक्चुअली ट्राई टू नो अबाउट यू. तो वहाँ पे प्रोजेक्ट्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएंगे कि अच्छा तुम्हारा एक्सपीरियंस है कि नहीं, कि तुमको मेंटर करना पड़ेगा बहुत सारा. The projects matter a lot. Like as you grow in your career, actually projects ही matter करते हैं. तुम ऐसा 5 साल इन bunch of companies रहोगे तो लोग पूछेंगे ना तुम्हारा क्या एक्सपीरियंस है और तुम आके क्या इम्पैक्ट कर सकते हो इस कंपनी में. तो प्रोजेक्ट्स धीरे धीरे बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करने लग जाते हैं. न्यू ग्रेड में इट्स फाइन इफ यू डोंट हैव प्रोजेक्ट्स, बट इफ यू हैव प्रोजेक्ट्स इट्स लाइक वो वाव फैक्टर क्रिएट करता है तुम्हारे इंटरव्यूअर्स के बीच में. Yeah.
See, actually, what is happening is that it's coming from the same intention of cracking interviews at campus placements. So generally, companies come and they have to filter out the candidates, right? And
Yeah.
they ask this competitive coding and all those things, and this has somehow affected negatively, I would say, to the students because they spend their complete college life in doing this data structure algorithm and competitive programming rather than actually exploring industry and all those things. So it's a
Yeah.
dicey situation right now, but that's what you said. Means you can do 2-3 months of problem solving data structure
Yeah.
algorithm and then
Oh, that's
focus more
amazing.
on
2-3 months में तो Facebook में भी जा सकते हो. I would say that. Yeah, seriously, I'm not kidding.
interesting. Okay, moving on to the next question. Do you have any recommendation for a great place to work in India?
Personal recommendation, a lot. I think Sudhanshu is awesome, and it's nice to meet Atul as well. So if you guys are hiring, like it'd be awesome to see how do you do community management and such. It's a student community. But I think yeah, startups are great. Like India has like lots of startups. My brother has is VP at a startup at CityFlow in Mumbai. So they are hiring if you're looking for a small place to work at. What else? Like I think I'm very excited about small companies in India. Like I'm very excited about people with like 10 engineers, because वहाँ पे everyone and you have like much more social. So मतलब ज़्यादा relationship होता है. You feel connected. You feel connected to the whole mission. Spotify is a large company, so I feel connected to the backstage team, but I don't feel connected to the whole music. Because बहुत सारी teams है, तो strangers ही मिलेंगे हमेशा. So I'm excited about like small companies inside India. What else? I don't know. I think bunch of my friends are hiring. So if you have a nice resume, please send it over. I know where to send it.
Interesting. So there is one very interesting question from Unnat that he has some ideas or small features that he wants to be included in Spotify. So whom can he approach to pitch these ideas?
Just tweet it, make it popular. No, no. I tweet it to me. We have a channel where we talk about Spotify. But yeah, make yourself viral. There was this resume long time ago, and the resume was in Spotify's theme, and that person got an interview. I don't know if I'm correct, but we notice these things. They're just people. So yeah, tweet it.
Yep. Okay. Rohit is saying, glad to see you after
Good to see
long
you,
or
Rohit.
co-hunter.
Yeah, he's from KGP, I think.
Great. Anirudh is Anirudh want to ask that nowadays many companies are asking too much tough questions in their coding rounds. How can we have referrals for product-based companies? One thing that most of the SDs get attracted to your resume.
Okay, there's
Um,
like three questions in there.
yep, yep.
Um, First one is like nowadays companies are asking too much tough questions in their coding rounds. I don't know, screw them. They have no clue what they're doing.
Acha, I
So
would like to take that question.
sure,
See, what
yeah,
is happening is that there are variety of companies they are hiring, right? If you go to the very bigger companies like Facebook, Amazon, they have a lot of resumes coming in, and they have to actually filter out the good ones. So that's how it's all about engineering entrance exam. The more people will apply, the exam will keep on getting tougher. But there are other good companies as well, right, where you can apply, and they are directly looking at your projects, not your data structure algorithm. Because so tell for Cuvette as well, we do not do any coding round, competitive coding round, and I have seen many other good companies, not going into this competitive coding and directly going into this open source and project contributions. So
yeah,
if you apply in various kinds of companies, right? Do not focus on only 4 or 5 companies.
yeah, yeah. Problem solving is important. Solving hard questions is, I think, rare. If you're applying for Google, then you can't complain.
Mhm.
So how can we have referrals for product-based companies? It's not that hard to get a referral. Um, of course, it's the same. Just talk to 10 people. Maybe one person will be interested. Try to find people from people whom you have connection with. Like someone is from India, someone is from your college. That, or you have mutual people. Ask them. It's not that hard. There's this app called Blind. It's awesome. It's an anonymous network of employees from companies. So I've seen people ask for referrals on Blind as well. One thing that most of the SD gets attracted to your resume, my resume or like in general, one thing that most of the SDs get attracted.
I think in general he is asking. So how should the resume look like to?
Got it. Um, I'm looking at skills, to be honest. I'm looking at using latest things.
Yeah,
So things. If you're applying for a front end engineer, like you should have React and JavaScript in your resume. And you should have like some maybe frameworks in your resume. You should have like links where I can go and check them out. But there's like general advice as well. Your impact, as recruiters say. So yeah, you can mention some metrics. You can mention some what did you do something extra. So were you just part of the team, or were you actually like making a huge impact in your team?
got it. For a fresher. Yep. So that's what.
Yeah, just mention like lots of technologies. I think freshers are not expected to know a lot of things. So if you say that you know a bunch of things, I would assume that you spend your time doing learning things, and you might be curious person to hire and to work with. If you have like one project which is like hotel management system that you did in your second year, so I would judge you.
So see, what we have figured out is that if you have one internship experience and two good projects in your resume, so your resume is like super duper for the companies, for any kind of companies, right? Uh, Great. I think it's already 1 hour, so let's end this session. Thanks everyone for joining. I think okay. Last question I'm taking from Mayank: how to get opportunities abroad?
Sorry. It's not that hard, to be honest. It's one market. Like the whole world is one market. So some companies, I think not some. Like I would be underestimating this, but a lot of companies are looking at same time zones in which your engineers are co-located so that they can work together. So they will ask you to like move to a new country in order to do that. But I don't think they actually care if you're from India, if you're from Japan, if you're from I feel like इंडिया में थोड़ा ये रहता है कि लाइक अच्छा टोक्यो में काम करता है, कुछ कुछ स्पेशल
Yeah.
होगा इसलिए. बट स्वीडिश कंपनी को फर्क नहीं पड़ता तुम इंडिया से हो जापान से हो, वो तुम आए हो कहीं से बट तुम यहाँ हो ना अभी. सो इट डजंट मैटर. आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट विजिबिलिटी इशू कि यू शुड हैव सम कनेक्शन मे बी टू हेल्प यू आउट, और यू शुड हैव लाइक you should talk to those people, or you are working on something they really need. As long as you have them, I think it's not that difficult that it sounded when I was a student.
Got it. Great. I think so. Let's end this session. One thing we want to announce that we are actually launching our next front-end code hands-on project. So if you guys are interested to get some experience in practical implementation to add some good projects, right? So that actually you get some good opportunities. You can check our Discord or Telegram where you can find the links. You may have received the mail as well. So, or if not, then you can connect me over LinkedIn and discuss about the program. What I would be happy to help you out. So thanks a lot, everyone. Means asking good questions, and thanks Himanshu for coming for a great session. It was really nice, catching up after graduating.
Yeah.
So thanks everyone.
Yeah, and I really like to talk. I really like talking to students. Like I don't think I'll give up on this. So I've been doing a lot of. Um, I think there's a lot that we can do to change our college life. And I faced some issues. My brother was there to help me out, but not everyone has people that can help. So I'm here if you need to talk. Just connect me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Uh, I do reply to a lot of emails, so I do have people whom I've just talked on email and given career advice, and it's going on for 2 years. I don't even know the person, but I do like to talk to students. So yeah, reach out to me. See you around then. Thanks.
One more thing, I am posting the link of the Hanson project FAQ doc. So if anyone wants to actually check the link, you can check from the comment section here in YouTube as well. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you. I'm ending this session.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye bye.